Hi. Welcome to Alizoid. Do you remember? When you were a kid and you'd fake sick just to stay home from school? It might be fun for a day, but eventually, not being able to leave the house gets boring pretty quickly. This is the stark reality many of us are currently facing. But at what point does never-ending boredom become increasingly unhealthy for our minds and bodies? Living in the time of a global pandemic isn't simply a walk in the park. What are the psychological impacts of being quarantined during a global pandemic? Living under such conditions can often stir up feelings of anxiety and fear. Everyone experiences anxiety, but unfortunately, some of us more than others. Anxiety is a completely normal part of life and is in fact your body's natural response to feelings of stress or fear. These feelings of anxiety are directly associated to our mental health. This is what drives our emotional, psychological and social well-being. But what happens when we are asked to quarantine, isolated in our homes indefinitely? Thank you for watching Alizoid. Consider subscribing to our channel to view more awesome content. Now, let's head back to the video. Fortunately, this isn't humanity's first encounter with a global pandemic. In fact, we have faced several life-threatening illnesses throughout the course of history. One such virus being SARS, otherwise known as the Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome. SARS had led to a global quarantine and was paramount in achieving widespread victory over the illness. Despite the success of the quarantine, it left lingering mental effects on recovering patients. In a study conducted on SARS victims in Toronto, Canada, the psychological distress of over 100 quarantined patients were assessed. The outcome showed over 30% of patients exhibiting signs correlating with mental illness and high psychosocial distress. China was the first country to be affected by the 2019 pandemic of the novel coronavirus. The Rajiv Gandhi General Hospital in Chennai, India, was able to determine that the COVID-19 virus shares 80% of its genetic makeup with the SARS virus, except for two major differences. One being that COVID-19 is much more contagious and transmissible when compared to the SARS virus. And two, the SARS virus has killed over 700 persons in China within a year, whereas the novel coronavirus has claimed the lives of 3 times this amount in a matter of 8 weeks. The uncertain incubation period and possible asymptomatic transmission of the COVID-19 virus has caused additional fear and anxiety amongst the Chinese. This is also due to the fact that many Chinese nationals still vividly remember the 2003 outbreak of SARS and the effect it had on China's social life and economy. This has contributed to severe cases of post-traumatic stress, especially amongst Chinese residents who are experiencing similar quarantine procedures today. Cases of anxiety and specifically agoraphobia are just a few of the symptoms being developed by patients in quarantine. But have you ever wondered what the impacts of extended isolation can have on our minds? Fortunately, many of us are at home with our families and still achieve a level of human interaction. But what about the thousands of people who live on their own? Agoraphobia is a known anxiety disorder which can have debilitating effects on the human mind and body. It makes you fear and avoid places or situations that could cause you to panic or make you feel trapped, helpless, or embarrassed. Have you ever experienced feelings of crippling anxiety? Let us know how you deal with anxiety in the comments below. Hospitals in New York and the UK have actually implemented an aftercare routine prior to releasing patients who have fully recovered from the coronavirus. The mental health of recovering patients and even our healthcare professionals should not be taken lightly. Even us at home should take the necessary precautions to guard against any possible mental illnesses that could arise from being in quarantine. But what measures could we implement at home to ensure our mental health stays up to mark? According to researchers, establishing a routine similar to what you are usually accustomed to doing helps put your mind at ease. In fact, one of the known alleviators of anxiety and panic attacks consists of occupying your mind with things to do, thus giving your brain less time to wander on potentially catastrophic events. Another proven study, which is mostly human nature, would be to reach out to friends and family. Be sure to maintain a level of contact and communicate on a regular basis. All of these play an important part in maintaining a good state of mind. This goes without saying, but you should also attempt to get a full 8 hours of sleep. We may have all the time in the world right now, but maintaining a proper sleep schedule is paramount to good health and well-being. It is also recommended to be asleep between the hours of 11 p.m. and 1 a.m., as this is when your body rejuvenates and repairs damaged cells. Your body will definitely thank you for it later. You may be tempted to spend a lot of time scrolling through social media or staying up to date on the latest Netflix series. But you should also consider spending a portion of that time doing things beneficial to your self-growth. Reading a book or learning a new recipe are just a few examples of how you can spend a fraction of your time in quarantine. Even consider learning a new skill and being productive just as you would on a regular day. But definitely make some time to engage in physical activity. The release of endorphins through exercise have been proven to release stress and ensure an overall better mood. So who knows, maybe a few extra push-ups and squats just might brighten up your day. After all, a healthy mind also needs a healthy body. The importance of sunshine to the human body is often understated. However, there is a reason vitamin D is also known as the sunshine vitamin. Production of vitamin D is triggered by our exposure to sunlight and is a crucial ingredient in promoting overall health, combating high blood pressure, cancer, and even improves brain function. So the next time you're stocking up on some vitamin C, be sure to open the window and get some vitamin D as well. And that's my cue to head outside, but remember, if you ever feel overwhelmed or stressed, try to stay positive or do something enjoyable. Stay safe out there. Until next time, Alizoid out.